Back in the day, I got Shovel Knight for my PS4, and I, with a lot of other people, loved the game. It was an indie title that gained a lot of traction, a 2D platformer that had so many callbacks to the 8-bit games of old. The pixelated art in the world, the characters, the music, the way it controls, and the simple story made it a big hit. This adds to the old feeling like you're playing a 8-bit game of back then. This put the company Yacht Club Games on the map of the indie scene. I was a fan ever since I played Shovel Knight for the first time, but the game did have its problems. Nevertheless, it was more good than bad. Like, way good. Many years later, I learned news of a game by the same company, Cyber Shadow. This was the reason I mentioned Shovel Knight at the start of this. It made me look out for the game's release because how well Shovel Knight was made. Plus all the free DLC and modes that they added in later on, and we didn't really need it. Cyber Shadow came out in February in 2021 to most platforms. So far it's gotten positive reception by the main critics including IGN and the sort. But is this another game journalisming questionable review, or does the game transcend the mainstream? Let's find out together as I go through the game, and I'll do my best to bring the information needed to make that decision. Also, there will be spoilers because this will be a full review. Cyber Shadow is a 2D platformer and combat game with an 8-bit pixel art style. You can use your sword and obtain powers to destroy enemies and bosses. While in combat, you must also use your positioning and jumping on platforms. This is a linear game, but you can return to past stages as it takes a long while to get back to levels since they're separated into sections. We will go into more of that detail in the review, as this is just the introduction. When you start the game, you get a chance to feel out the game without enemies around you, letting you see how long and high you can jump. From this moment, you can see how fast you can attack. You know, this is going to be a very aggressive game. Oh my gosh, I gotta get health. Ah! Oh, that's a save station. Okay. Some Cuphead. Oh my gosh, Cuphead, yes. If... I don't know what that said. That's some buggy stuff right there. Oh. When it comes to the control of your character, Shadow, it is very responsive to a D-pad or a control stick. Whenever you do an action, it will happen in the way that you have inputted it. I know that's what games are supposed to do, but there is no delay. Shadow moves at a decent pace. Not too fast, but not too slow. He moves fast enough to dodge, but slow enough to let you read the situation, if sudden trouble does come. Soon you gain more powers and ways to move throughout the game. All powers are done with the attack button and a direction at the same time. For an example, when you get the ability to throw ninja stars, you must press up plus attack to throw them. It's like Castlevania for the NES, where you had to use them from getting candles. This can take a while to get used to, but it becomes natural. Give me the power! Ooh, boy. Oh, I do get... Oh, I just wasted that. Oh. Oh. Using powers uses up your power or blue meter, and if you're out, your powers will not work or be less effective. With the use of one button for all powers, also comes making mistakes in commands. This does not happen often. Some powers take more practice than others. For instance, dashing and parry. The dash power can be done one or two ways. Pressing forward twice in rapid succession, or by pressing another button.
We're there, dude. Spikes. Oh, daggone it. I wish you could just push a button and do it, instead of... But whatever.
And you might press forward or back twice. You might dash to an enemy or into a spike pit and ruin your current run. But, like I said before, you can use the dash with a button press while running, making things much easier. The parry power is difficult to use for one reason. You must tap the left or right on the controls, depending on which way you are facing. You see, the parry move only works on incoming projectiles. You can do this while jumping or on the ground. Same with the dashing power, you can use the parry without meaning to. Sometimes this can be a good thing as you avoid damage to yourself, but other times it can mess with your flow of movement. Sometimes I would be going forward and a bullet would hit me, so I brace myself in some way, then the bullet gets parried, and die from pressing the wrong button afterward.
Cool. Ah, dang it. Doing that 3 times in the air is really hard, by the way. I have to use the parry thing, and it's like...
The parry power can be useful, but takes time to use effectively in gameplay. It's only when you get the charge power that things get easier with all the powers you have. Another thing you need to get used to is when you take damage, because you get knocked back. At first it doesn't seem too big of an issue. That's only because the first few stages are open and have less spikes or pits. Later on, however, platforms get smaller and therefore being knocked back into these death traps when hit by enemies.
See, I don't know how to do that. Like... Screw off. Yeah, I need to be on the lower plat.
Not only do you get knocked back from being hit, you can be hit multiple times by the same enemy. You don't have much time between hits, or blink time. I call it blink time because this is the time your character spends time blinking after being hit. When you blink from being hit, you are invincible. This can allow you to take hits on purpose to pass through certain parts of the game or enemies. You can't really do this in Cyber Shadow since blink time is very short. However, the game is built for this and wants you to not use this to get ahead. This teaches you to avoid damage, even more so since health pickups are rare and mostly hidden. The game teaches you that avoiding damage is very important, like Dark Souls or something. You must survive in between checkpoints, which can heal you. You must have controlled aggression and know when you can go all out or not.
I almost did it too. Maybe some of these things give you hit points. That would be something. Oh well. Oh, okay. Don't go in the water. He lands within you, just dump all the stuff on him. The fire is really good. The fire's really good.
Yet unlike Dark Souls, when you die and sent back to your checkpoint, you lose nothing but progress. The whole point is to learn from your mistakes and try again. The checkpoints themselves have ways to help you other than just save your last position. You can use the checkpoints to buy things to make the checkpoint better, I guess. You have 3 choices, and one of them is to spend your points to refill your power or blue meter. The other one is a device that can help you in different ways.
Oh, now you decide to shoot. Okay, whatever. I probably need some spirits.
You see, you pick up points, and you must use these points you pick up wisely, because sometimes you must pay for self-repair, meaning healing yourself to full health. If you don't have enough points, you can't heal yourself in this way when you respawn. The devices you can buy at checkpoints have different effects that help you in different ways. One way extend your sword range or give you supply of power points after using it.
Yeah. Sure, why not? We're gonna do it.
You can only have one device on you at once, so if you pick up a new device, it gets replaced by the new one. Also, a device is destroyed if you get hit 3 times while having it on you. It does not matter how much damage you take yourself, it will still be destroyed on the 3rd hit. During the explanation of the checkpoints, you're probably wondering, what are these points you spend while at the checkpoint? Well, all these points are little orange yellowish pellets that you can find from a lantern or chest, or dropped by enemies. This will never be confused for any other pellets since they are color corresponded with what they help. That's somewhat clunky, but let me explain. Blue pellets increase your power meter. The red ones increase your red bar or health. Plus, they have different shapes that help you at a glance know what the pellet is. When it comes to the gameplay of Cyber Shadow, some things must be learned and mastered even if they don't really teach you. The game expects you to solve it on your own. It doesn't hold your hand, but it's still balanced by the fact that it lets you practice a move a bit before proceeding. This game has really good progressive difficulty curve, while being fresh with each new stage, and obstacles. Whenever you come to a new stage, it will have a new gimmick, even if it has past enemies in it. There is one thing I should mention about the game, and that's the difficulty of the game itself. Like I said before, this game pulls no punches, but whatever happens to you is really your fault. This game really is about you adjusting to it, and learning and dying over and over again. Like the Dark Souls comparison, of course, to bonfires, you must use your resources wisely to reach the next checkpoint. However, this game is not like Dark Souls. Duh. I'm just using it as an example. The game is pretty hard, and it will test you.
Let's be right here and wait for him. Yeah. Gotta get done. That's not fair. This is my fault. Okay then. I want to do with the game though. Okay, bye. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. I'm pushing this thing, man. I'm pushing.
There are things to help you out other than the buying upgrades at checkpoints. You can find hidden upgrades throughout the stages that increase your maximum health and power meter. When you find them in the stage, they look like little canisters. The health upgrades come in red canisters, and the power upgrades are blue. Also, you get health upgrades from defeating bosses as well, so you're not left completely in low maximum health territory.
Woo, I did it! Ah! I did it! I got the 3! Yeah, get out of here, dude. Get out of here. Get! Shoot! Oh no! Oh. Oh, more health! Woohoo! Get out of here.
Oh, I forgot to mention during the damage portion to talk about the hitboxes of Shadow and the enemies. The enemy hitbox is within your sword's range, and flash when hit, giving you the satisfaction when you strike a blow. It's not that tough to find the enemy hitbox, but when it's the other way around, you can have some trouble. Like most of the problems in this game, most of the time your hitbox makes sense. When you think you're going to get hit, you are hit. The thing that can be frustrating is when you are hit by spikes. Your hitbox for auto-kill spikes can be questionable. Even more so when you have the double jump. You curl up into a ball when you jump again, but like you had a normal jump hitbox while jumping normally. To sum up the gameplay of Cyber Shadow, it controls well with precise controls. You must learn how to get through the game on your own and get used to the powers to use them effectively. You must go between checkpoints with no way to heal yourself but by health pickups, combat being to attack in earnest, but also avoiding damage at all costs. This game feels good to control and very natural to play, with some of it being a proving ground. Whenever I finished challenge, or the game itself, I felt really good about it. This game, off the controls alone, I can't recommend it enough.
Ooh. Almost nothing. Oh my gosh! Get out of here, false god thing.
When it comes to the sounds of the game, it fits the style of this 8-bit world. Believe it or not, it keeps you grounded in the story. The game wants you to stay in this universe by making the art style, music, and sound effects be similar. A lot of the sound effects in Cyber Shadow remind me of the ones in Contra for the NES. The vibe I get is very Konami, even with the visuals. Again, reinforcing that this is a lost gem from the ages of old. Still, even though I get vibes from other material, it still comes off as its own unique entity. When you hear the music of this game, you know it comes from this game. In fact, when you hear the first stage tune for the first time, you know you're going on an adventure that you will love.
Whatever you guys want to do, whatever you guys want to do. But still, I can tell I'm really going to be into this. Oh yeah. Like,
all the stages of variations on themes, making each part of the stage feel different. Music also changes to fit cutscenes and story elements. Boss battles feel impactful, or important because of the music, even if you don't know the full context.
no matter. Powers will soon fade into the ethos. What's the ethos? It's like the Force? No, it's be the eternal void.
During cutscenes, the music is somber or intense, based on what the emotion they want to go for. Sometimes there is no music, just to let you take in what is happening instead of the music doing it. Sound effects are rarely in full cutscenes, in order to focus on the words and what is being shown. There are cutscenes that take place in-game. These are the ones with no music and just noises.
Oh my gosh, I did it. Oh. Oh, really? You jerk. Oh. that sucked. Oh my gosh, it's like one of those like helmet things.
Even though I have gone over the graphics a bit, I still want to take a closer look at it. After all, we need to talk about this style of the game and how it makes the player feel. What I noticed, and most players I think will notice, that the look of the game is very futuristic. There is a reason it's called Cyber Shadow. The 8-bit or pixel style Yacht Club used is really charming in its own way. The backgrounds can be moving or have flashing lights in areas, making those areas feel different. Stages have a theme and they stick to that theme. There's a stage where something is destroying a part of a city and the stage reflects that. Not just in destroyed platforms you cross, but also in the backgrounds and stage hazards, for example, fire pits.
Having fun that I forgot my health meter. I'm doing great, Ed. That I love the Spectre Knight campaign. It's really, really good. And the King of Cards one is good too. Like, I love how he controls as well. Ow. What?
When it comes to the animations of the game, most of them are from the gameplay itself. Shadow, which is your character, just in case you forgot, looks well running through the game or doing anything else. The animation of Shadow attacking depends on the way he attacks. If he attacks with his arms, he will do motion quickly. Same with throwing shurikens or summoning fire from the ground. When you do an action by pressing a button, Shadow looks like he knows what he's doing. Your life and power bar is easy to read because of the color and digital style. It's easy at a glance to see where your max health is and if you need health if you're worried about it. The only other thing on screen that are very noticeable is you and the enemies. The other thing that you can see is a device which hovers closely to you. The health of your device is displayed by your health and power bar, but you can also tell by the device itself. The device will blink orange the more damage it takes.
Oh. Should have waited. Oh well. Daggone it! I hate this thing.
The aesthetics of Cyber Shadow is a technological dystopia. City ruins overrun by robots. Backgrounds reinforce this even more so with how bad everything is. In fact, I can't think of a single plant in this game. The closest I've seen is the garbage level, which has dirt instead of metal floors. The look of the game sets a dangerous and oppressive atmosphere. Even more so when you see this purple goo, what seems to have people in it. Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh, that's gross.
If you forgot, by the way, spoilers for everything, okay? Okay. Now let's start with the beginning of the game. A robot hovers down and wakes your character up, who is named Shadow. You are a robot ninja who has put into suspended animation, or the memories were put into a robot. In either case, you are not at full strength. From your memories resurfacing and the robot's guiding Shadow, you must find the master. Even as your life is draining from your body as orange goo.
Oh! Oh my gosh, it's the same story! Oh my gosh, that's a cutscene. I like the cutscenes though. The cutscenes are like animated like a like old CGI old thing. What do you call it? Not CGI, but you.
The master being your master, well, I mean that's the character name. As you go on, you will see her in full cutscenes and in-game cutscenes. Most of these scenes with the master, she is teaching you techniques and how to summon energy. The energy is how you use your powers you obtain throughout the game.
She ain't there no more. All right. That is I do have to say.
Other information you obtain is in computers and dead bodies of fallen comrades or random robots. The computer terminals are diaries by scientists or researchers of people who were trying to keep the Master alive. The Master was going to die from an unknown illness, and her father was in charge of her care. Since they could not heal her, they put the Master away in suspended animation, until she can be cured. But before you can even get close to her, another ninja like you appears. The Apparator. He wants to stop you from progressing. But for what reason? One reason could be in the past he didn't want you to learn from the Master. You were accepted so fast by her, and he didn't like what the Master saw in Shadow. 2, it seems the Apparator got new life as a robot, and whoever did, once Shadow stopped, which the rival accepts. When you obtain a power, it's usually from a ninja found in a chamber or pod. You must destroy the chamber, which releases the ninja who gives their power to you. This kills the ninja, which might seem morally dubious. Except they give the power willingly. But why would they? When the chamber seems to keep them alive. It seems your enemies use their powers for their own, leeching off of them. Freeing them seems to be let them be at peace in death.
Still worth it. Get out of here. Give me your shurikens. Have to get as many upgrades to the Kingdom of Mind. I know, I'm just...
This is probably why you don't get the full power, because of the ninja's weakened state and their power being drained. It seems these ninjas in these pods are a part of your clan, which makes another part of the game a little more heartbreaking. During your journey, you will find statues of various animals or mythological creatures. Interacting with it will return you to the past. I think it's the past, but probably your memory of a past or the ethos. We will go over the ethos later. Here you will earn a new power after completing a challenge. For example, your first challenge is to race a monkey up a tower to obtain the power to wall climb.
Developers wouldn't do that, right? No, it's the way to go. There's actually a video that talks about the philosophy of this game. Yeah, I mean, you can beat that monkey there. You can take that contacts however you want. Oh.
What makes it sad is that more than likely, one of these ninjas were being used for power. Oh yeah, one more thing before I continue. Before you wake up from your chamber at the start of the game, there is a cutscene of a city exploding. The game tells you that this is most likely the reason you are in the chamber. In any case, you must travel through the ruins of what the explosion did. The story can be hard to follow since the information given to you is in very small pieces. Even in long cutscene, not much info is given to you. This is done on purpose for the story and for the mythos of the world. It seems something is leaking from your body, most often from the eyes. This yellow sort of liquid seemed to be some sort of life force. Of course, this is a good point to talk about ethos. Ethos seems to be the life force the top ninjas use to utilize their powers. As said by the Master when she knows she is dying, she will return to the ethos. Meaning, whatever living being dies, they return to this ethos. This is a mythical part of the game and seems to be based on Eastern beliefs. Only a special few seem to understand how to use the power of the ethos. Later on in the story, you learn from computers that the Master's father tried different ways to bring her back. One way is to create a new body, which is the purple goo you see in different life pods.
Okay. I don't know if there's any way to defeat this thing the first time, but you just have to get killed by it.
The other way, I think, has to be that he tries to create a digital body, or avatar. He was more successful here, as you can see her in a hologram. However, I think he wanted her in flesh and blood, so he abandoned this idea. In the end, we learn that her father is alive, and sees her daughter digital form as a fake. So the final battle ensues with him as he is now, a freak of nature and nothing really human. Once you defeat her father, the digital avatar, or the diamond she is in, protects you. Even though she may not be the Master, she still helps you survive going down through the atmosphere. The rest of the Master Ninjas now find you in their spirit or ethos forms and help you free the true Master. When you free her, she turns also into this spirit form, and Shadow also does this. All of you live in new forms together, forever. I think her father knew this, so wanted his daughter back as he knew her. So after so many years, went mad from living in the flesh form for so long. It's almost like the game is saying that the flesh is fleeting, but in the game there are only robots. The robots can only do something that it's programmed to do. Are they saying that a human is programmed like a robot? I don't think so, because the ninjas were once human and could make choices on what they did. I think it's about the general public believing in one way, like a herd just looking at the world in one way. Most people think of life in two ways, living or dead. The ninjas found a way to live on after death, so life and death are meaningless. Because to the mob, it's one or the other, like a robot would think. And 1 or a 0. Not saying I believe this, but this is what I get from the game's story or mythology. The story can be a mess, but you can get basic information out of it. You can see something in each character and why they do what they do. In the game, the physical form is very limited. Reminds me of the Jedi in the prequels in a way. Looking at it all of the info from all the cutscenes in the game and computers you can obtain to see what is happening. However, you must look for some of that story to get the info that you need. This means you can skip things that could fill in the blanks of the storyline. Although it could be considered a good thing because on repeated playthroughs you can just go past them or skip them. Even the cutscenes they force on you can be skipped with a button. Still, if you play it once with the story looked at, it can be confounding or confusing. My final thoughts on the game is that it's really good. Go buy it. Support developers that give you good games without tricking you in any way. Where was I? Oh yeah, final thoughts. The controls are almost perfect and feel good. The music is great and sound effects match the game. The story is basic at first, but it has complexities with spiritual points that the flesh is like a shell or a robot. Like I said before, I really recommend this game. The game can be tough, which means you will have a long time, or it's so fun you will play it in all in one day. Now, I knew you could give it a score of some kind, so let's do a 10 scale. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. For all the great stuff, but with some of it questionable hitboxes, story confusions, and learning curve. It seems I agree with most of outlets then. Well, it does happen. Well, anyway, that's it, and I hope you enjoyed my first real game review. If you like this stuff, hit me up on Twitch or sub, like. If you really like it, I have a PayPal thing to pay me. I will use it to get more stuff, to make my video things better, and all that other stuff, games, blah blah blah. Well, anyway, again, take care of yourself and thanks for watching.